incident that happened last week over here at my house, and if it was one of those social injustice videos, you'll see everything as it plays out. I have ring cameras all over my house, so you're able to see exactly what happened. But pretty much it was the last weekend, and this all started out, a man was walking through my backyard, nothing big, but he was walking through my backyard, and one of my neighbors, Dave, he was actually having a house party, so I just sent him a text saying, and a picture of the guy. I was like, hey, is this one of your, one of your party members? I was thinking that maybe the guy was lost. And he said, no, no, it's not one of our people, but we'll keep an eye out, just because, walking through our backyard when, I'm in the very back of the neighborhood, no one should even be close to here. There'd be no reason to walk through my backyard. But that's the first video, and then the second video is roughly at about 2 a.m. And this is just backstory, just so you all know the entire story. But after I sent the text over to my neighbor, one of his party goers, their kids said that somebody's walking in the backyard, something's not going right. And this is across the fairway, because I live here on a golf course. This is across the fairway, so Dave and a couple of my neighbors, they go over there on a golf cart, look around, because nobody should be in your backyard, especially after I just sent a text saying that somebody's walking through my backyard. So they went over, checked, didn't see anything, but so they all went back to the party. Then a few minutes later, another house across the fairway, the floodlight came on, and they clearly, the entire party, they saw somebody right there in a different neighbor's backyard. So this guy's now been in 3 people's backyards, and they wouldn't have even seen him in that person's backyard if the floodlight hadn't come on. So they all, they just started running over to him, because obviously this guy isn't he's up to something. So they run to him, they kind of trap him in a cul-de-sac. They aren't touching him, they aren't hitting him or anything. They just won't question him. And actually, Dave, he said, hey, if you have a car in the area, or if you need to ride somewhere, we'll give you a ride. And the guy said, no, somebody gave me an address and I have to be here. I have to be at this address. It was just weird. The guy wasn't. It just, something was off from him. So the police were called just because this guy's in people's backyards, running away. And it's actually 2 people, 2 guys, and one guy, he ran off into the woods for some reason. Which even that, if you're not doing anything bad, why are you running from anybody who's just investigating what you're doing? 10 o'clock at night, 10:30 at night. So the constable's office, they show up. They give the guy a trespass for my yard, because there was video proof that he was, in my yard, and we have no trespass signs on the front and rear of the house. So he was given a no trespass from my yard, so he can't come back to my property. And I just thought that was the end of it. They actually let him go right there. It was literally, maybe 500 feet from where I'm at right now. They just let him go in the street, because he wasn't technically breaking any laws besides, trespassing on my property. So they just let him go there. It was weird to me and my neighbors, but I just thought that was going to be the end of it. But at 2 o'clock in the morning, he decided to come back. Actually, I just got out of the shower, I laid in bed, and my dog was actually kind of growling at the door. It wasn't really barking, but just kind of growled at the door. I heard him, and I was like, whatever, I need to get my phone charger for my car anyways, and I'll just go check it real quick. Open the door, and that dude is staring at me in the face. So of course, I'm buck naked. There's naked and there's naked, and I was naked. I know he saw me, he saw everything. So of course, I shut the door real quick, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? And I thought I heard him say something about get lost or something like that. Get lost, and even in the video you're about to see, you can kind of hear that. So as soon as I heard that, I'm like, dude, I'm about to get a gun, and we're here in Texas. I support the Second Amendment, so that was my right. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it just all happened so quick, and it was just like, what in the world? But as soon as he hears me mention anything about a gun, he starts walking back, kind of walking away slowly. Then somebody comes out of my my front door, starts yelling at him. You don't see that on camera, but pretty much he was just saying, get down the street. What are you doing? And he just takes off running, and then as he's running away, somebody's honking on the horn because I guess he eventually parked across the street. They were honking on the horn for him to run over there. He got in, backed away, drove away real quick, and then about 5 minutes later, he drove in front of our house again. That time, I was armed. I was out in the front yard, and just a very weird experience. Then after he left, we of course called the police again. And I went back and looked at the ring footage, and he was actually there, just standing there for about 10 minutes. He walks up all slowly, he even gets down, looks under my car, and we have cameras all over the house. And he was just outside the view of one of our other cameras, which I don't know if he thought, or I don't know if he knew there was a camera, the one that's recording, but he was just outside the view. He was just staring at it. And it's just a weird situation. You don't do that, not at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I don't want this to become any kind of race thing. If it was anybody outside my door at 2 o'clock in the morning, after they've already been trespassed, I'm getting a gun. And that's where I kind of lead into the next thing, how, because of course we posted this on Nextdoor and Facebook. On each, there was one person, and this is actually kind of funny, the same person was saying that, y'all overreacted, you shouldn't have gotten the gun. If it was me, I would have walked outside, and I would have talked to the guy and asked him what was wrong. And you cannot make this up. Literally 2 or 3 days ago, she posted on Facebook saying how, asking what security systems other people use. Comical to me. But referring back to this guy, that's where the story ends with him. But here's all the videos. Now with him being at my front door, which is actually a side front door, because I technically am in the garage area. It's a huge area converted into a mother-in-law's suite. So this was it wasn't even the front door, it was the side of my house. But when he is at the side of my house, I'm going to speed it up, but just know that all of that is roughly, I think 9 minutes. That he was just standing in front of my car, looking at that camera, but he thought he was slightly outside the view of it. But here's the video.
Lost.
So what y'all think of that? Weird situation, almost seems like he's trying to provoke some kind of reaction. For one, showing up at 2 a.m. and then when he was walking through my backyard, before he gets all the way to the fairway, he's shining light, almost signaling that, oh, somebody's here. But where the title of the video came from is in the comments of the original video. A lady said that her son said that people are going around, people are trying to blow up on YouTube by going to different Houston area suburbs, houses, and just doing different social experiments, and then kind of framing the entire story to seem like it was something that it wasn't at all. Like if this right here was one of the social experiments, you could say, he just came up to someone's house, knocked on the front door, and then some crazy dude's yelling at him, saying he's going to get a gun. And he could say it was roughly about 8:30 as soon as the sun goes down, not 2 o'clock in the morning, and you can just change the entire situation to fit your narrative versus what actually happened. And there is, I think, it is a strong probability that that's what it is, because this guy isn't homeless. He has a car. He, like I said, he was almost trying to provoke some kind of interaction by shining his light in the backyard, by coming up to our security cameras, staring at it, and then right there, as soon as my dog started growling, what alerted my dog was, he very gently knocked on the door, and not enough for me to hear, which I would have heard, if a normal person knocked on the door, but just enough, just to make a noise. So if it wasn't that, if it was somebody up to something weird, then I definitely don't come back here, because we're armed. And wouldn't want you to leave in the body bag. But no matter what, this guy's definitely in the wrong. He was already no trespass from my property. He came back, so there's probably going to be a warrant out for his arrest, just because you don't do that. You don't go back somewhere where you've already been trespassed. And if it was a social justice experiment, then it's stupid. That could have ended very bad. Some people in comments were saying that it seems like he may have had some kind of mental issue. I don't think that's the case, because I heard him talk to the constables across the street, and he was he's intelligent. From the way he was talking, he knows the law, obviously, because he was asking, am I under arrest? Oh, I'm not under arrest. Okay, so am I free to leave? And then the police would say that he's being detained, and he was not happy about that. Saying that, it's not illegal to walk in the streets, and which, it's not illegal to walk in the streets, but going into people's backyards with no trespassing signs, that is illegal. So I just think it's crazy, this entire situation. If it was a social justice guy, don't do it that way. But either way, this guy's in the wrong, and I don't feel bad about my actions. But let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Could this be some kind of social justice thing, or does it look like he was up to something? Because to me, it looks like he was up to something. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a great day.